Inclusion and Diversity Strategy in Higher Education Institutions. A lecture that tries to introduce an enlarged concept of inclusive education and highlights the areas that need particular attention in order to assist European countries in strengthening the focus on inclusion in higher education institutions. Inclusion referred initially to people who have been historically excluded due to their race, gender, sexuality, ability. Meanwhile, nowadays the term has evolved to receive a wider meaning. By creating a more inclusive environment, the number of people who will feel welcomed and valued will increase significantly. Inclusion is about ensuring diverse representation and fair opportunities for all, and also about creating an environment where students feel valued as unique individuals, where they can express their authentic self and are encouraged to bring their own values to the community. Inclusion represents an action of including or of being included within a group or structure. When referring to higher education institutions, an inclusive environment refers to creating a supportive environment for all the learners, no matter their skills. An inclusive higher education respects people from all socio-economic backgrounds and cultures and can create a more tolerant and understanding society. Diversity is recognizing, respecting, and celebrating each other's differences. A diverse environment is one with a wide range of backgrounds and mindsets, which allows for an empowered culture of creativity and innovation. Diverse higher education institutions are considered to be happier, more productive, and more competitive. Inclusion and diversity represent common missions and not separate issues to be tackled before, during, or after a process. Erasmus Plus and the European Solidarity Corps programs define young people with fewer opportunities as young people who, for economic, social, cultural, geographical, or health reasons, due to their migrant background or for reasons such as disability or educational difficulties or for any other reason, including a reason that could give rise to discrimination under Article 21 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union, face obstacles that prevent them from having effective access to opportunities under the program. As awareness about different aspects of diversity has broadened, inclusion has come to mean embracing this diversity and working to make groups identified as diverse an integrated part of the university community. Certain dimensions of diversity have received particular attention because the groups identified as either underrepresented, disadvantaged, or vulnerable, or any combination of these three. People with disabilities may experience difficulties in moving, hearing, seeing, communicating, or learning. These may limit both students and staff university to access all the facilities from the community. In order to respond to some of the limitations, strict regulations have been imposed from the European Union regarding special ramps and signs to ease their movements around the universities. Living with a severe health problem is a real burden. 1 in 4 people of working age are estimated to live with long-standing health problems that limit their daily activities. Severe illnesses, chronic diseases, or other health problems may prevent people from participating partially or totally in education programs. In order to overcome this challenge, students are encouraged to self-study, if this is possible and acceptable to the teaching staff, especially if it refers to a limited period of time, or to search for higher education institutions which offer 100% online education. Ethnicity refers to a social group to which a person belongs to or to which it identifies as a result of a mix of cultural and other factors such as language, religion, ancestry, diet, and physical features traditionally associated with race. Sometimes it might seem challenging to adapt the curricula or the teaching process to the particularities of each group, but diversity brings innovation and interculturality which may lead to a new and improved directions. Cultural and linguistic barriers appeared due to different native languages of people who work and study in higher education institutions. The opportunity to move around the world in any moment of someone's life due to different reasons lead to challenges for educators. In order to support and deliver the best outcomes for the students, it is important that higher education institutions reflect the community they serve. Therefore, universities should continue to increase the number of employees from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds. In time, this can lead to a better understanding and tackling systemic barriers. The socioeconomic status can influence both students and university staff members. The socioeconomic status refers, besides income, to education, financial security, quality of life, opportunities and privileges, subjective perception on social status and social class. SES affects overall human functioning, including our physical and mental health. In order to reduce the gap, supplementary attention and teaching hours should be provided for these students and maybe supplementary financial support. Students with learning difficulties find it hard to integrate in a common environment as they need special tools in order to understand and learn a new subject. By training teachers and academic staff the tools and methodologies needed on how to support such students, it will lead to a safer environment. Gender and sexual discrimination can occur in all fields and sometimes is done unwillingly, but it has severe consequences. Due to the widespread use of social media and digital platforms, the emergence of technology-facilitated gender-based violence increased significantly. Among the people who are targeted by the online violence are people of all genders who work to promote women's rights and rights related to gender equality, women in politics and civil society organizations and coalitions, journalists, women with disabilities or belonging to minorities, and LGBTQ. Migrants and refugees face specific problems when arriving in a new country. Besides the cultural challenges that they have to face, there is also the language barrier, and also, due to the problems from the countries they arrived from, they may be emotionally vulnerable. Or even they might not have documents regarding their education level, or their studies are not recognized in the country they arrive. By providing newcomers with the necessary digital skills, it will give them a greater sense of autonomy and confidence, leading to independence and a sense of inclusion and belonging. Another group that we have to take in consideration are the persons for whom the access to a good education is significantly influenced by the geographical locations. Sometimes living in isolated or rural areas, on islands or in areas where there are no roads or public transport, make it impossible to follow an education. When talking about online education, these areas can be reached, but there are some challenges regarding internet quality and connections, as well as overall accessibility. Acknowledging some of these challenges higher education institutions are facing nowadays, as for example the big drop-down rates, national and international projects were developed in order to find solutions to improve or limit them. With all these actions, it has been realized that it is not enough and special attention should be given to help students from low SES environments feel integrated and be supported throughout their education, as they are the most vulnerable when creating a diverse learning environment. Financial challenges are considered one of the most important barriers to student success. The lack of finances puts pressure on students to undertake paid employment and also has a psychological and emotional toll as students feel stressed to cover their education costs as well as survive on a monthly basis. Therefore, there is a significant importance of financial assistance for the support and stability and students' retention and success. Mentoring programs are regarded as an effective solution of reducing the achievement gap between the impoverished and their wealthier counterparts. Studies have shown that there is an important increase in college completion for students with mentors compared with their unmentored counterparts with almost double completion rates. Implementation of mentoring programs should emphasize to mentors the significance of skill development, network expansion, and the sense of belonging that mentoring can provide to low SES students in order to help manage their expectations during the preparation stage. Studies show that the success of students from low SES backgrounds can be increased if the academia and staff of the university understand and respond to particular circumstances and needs of these students. Typical responses include promoting existing support services within universities, empathic support, promoting a fair and respectful environment and flexibility, including through the use of technology. For this, we can also use extracurricular activities. These could provide students the means of reinforcing the lessons learned inside a classroom, offering the chance to apply academic skills in a real situation context, being thus considered part of a well-rounded education. Participation in these activities increases students' sense of engagement and attachment to their university and thereby decrease the probability of school failure and dropping out, while also developing a better self-identity, career prospects, and social networks. Having a sense of belonging is one of the most important psychological needs for students to feel connected with a higher education institution, and establishing this sense of belonging is crucial to bring the best out of them. Academia and staff members should encourage an environment where people feel safe to speak up, to voice ideas, and to challenge behavior while providing opportunities for people to connect, expand their perspectives, and break down stereotypes. The systemic challenges that can arise in the development of students should be tackled as soon as possible, and diversity and inclusion strategies should be included into the core decision-making processes. Measures to strengthen the diversity in academia can include an equitable and fair environment, increased representation of ethnic minorities at all levels of the organization, gender balance in middle and top management positions, and support for the disabled persons to fully realize their career potential. The evaluation process has been continuously evolving over the years, but now is addressing the needs of low SES students has been less analyzed. Ideally, evaluation should be culturally responsive and participatory with a focus on equity and an awareness of systemic biases and inequalities. Recognizing diverse identities is crucial for developing evaluations that accurately measure relevant aspects. Additionally, understanding the various identities of individuals contributes to a more nuanced comprehension of what is suitable for an assessment. It is essential to consider the language and tools employed in evaluations, ensuring that they are well understood by participants. An important inquiry would be, is the language used in assessments empowering or disempowering individuals? Universities should acknowledge that as they progress in creating opportunities for low SES students, they will need to recognize that their actions and priorities may need to adapt to changes in the wider world and the expectations set by stakeholders. Clear progress measures and a robust approach to accomplish them is required in order for its members to remain focused. Reliable technology was found to positively contribute to the success of students from low SES backgrounds studying at regional universities. This is an effective way to support students and facilitate their success, whether it be through granting access to university study through online classes, allowing flexibility in learning and study, enabling timely responses from staff, fostering connections between staff and students. Online education is critical for higher education today and represents an effective way to address students' needs and offers the opportunity to engage students from diverse backgrounds. Digital technologies have the potential to include and engage students with multiple and complex needs that typically prevent access to traditional university programs. Online learning has increased access and flexibility for students from regional areas and those unable to attend a campus for classes. Digital learning allows students to choose the time and place when they access their educational program and even choose their own pace. In this new system, there is always a support network that is around the student, able to assist them when required and in order to effectively enable them to continue the learning process. Educating through digital tools make the process connected to the world, exchanging information, updating permanently, and being more complex than any book. The value of online options is particularly high for individuals with disabilities or health issues that limit their ability to travel to and attend on-campus classes. Another important advantage of online education is having materials uploaded and accessible to students anytime and anywhere. Timelessness and relevance of online resources and responses represents an important consideration in discussions about the advantages of digital learning, benefiting both students and academics. Students who exclusively engage in online learning may face a higher risk of isolation compared to those attending physical classes. Therefore, educators are responsible for bringing the campus to the student's home, which is not an easy task. Another problem when accessing online lectures is due to the devices used, especially for students from low SES backgrounds who may only have a smartphone and lack access to a tablet or laptop. Limited access to technology and internet poses a genuine challenge for students in low SES situations. These limitations may arise from geographical factors, such as areas with poor internet connectivity, as well as financial constraints. The model addresses the barriers to the inclusion process, recognizing that these barriers vary based on a combination of factors in different countries and among diverse target groups. Moreover, it proposes to promote inclusion and diversity in higher education institutions by means of improving digital learning skills, tools, and by encouraging a positive interaction with people from low SES backgrounds. The final beneficiaries are students facing fewer initial opportunities in life, placing them in a disadvantaged situation compared to their peers. The main target groups are teachers, instructors, study and career counselors, education coordinators, deans, and other senior managers involved in higher education institutions. Additionally, indirect target groups are teachers, study and career counselors, students, and parents of students in second cycle educational institutions.